The mission of Urban Peace is really to help save the lives of the next generation. People can change. It's not once a gang member, always a gang member.
Prevention, intervention, and violence interruption.
We're a nonprofit social justice organization.
Hello again, my name is Fernando Rejon. Welcome back to Peace on Our Streets. This is a series exploring the work of peacemakers and efforts on the front lines to reduce and prevent community violence. Today we are speaking with a gang intervention worker here in LA, Irma Arellano. She works with Volunteers of America. We're going to speak to her about the work of gang intervention, community-based public safety, a little bit about her background, but also why it's so important for intervention to advocate for the work and to help lead the development of the field. Irma is a leader in the LA Violence Intervention Coalition, speaks up for the work, and has been doing the work for a number of years. So thank you, Irma. We'd like to welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate that.
So Irma, can you talk a little bit about your background and why you do this work? This isn't easy work. This is difficult work. It takes a lot. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of how I grew up and then how I led to intervention. Growing up, I grew up in a household where alcoholic played a big role in my house, and alcoholic and violence goes hand in hand. So at a very young age, I was exposed to different characters. If you know an alcoholic, they're happy, then they go sad, then they're angry, then they go into a rage. So those characters had all built up within myself at a very young age, which those characters took me to places that I shouldn't have probably been at a very young age and was exposed to. So being with those characters, I got myself involved with other bigger things in life that once again take you to bigger places. And this time I had just came home from what we call a vacation. I had just came home and I was at a car wash, and somebody came up to me and handed me a flyer. And I got that flyer and I kind of just put it behind my pocket, shoved it in my pocket. And the person was walking away and turned around and told me, just read it, read that flyer. And I was like, okay, I'll read this flyer. So I kind of put it back in my back pocket, and I had just came home, same place, same thing, same character, same things over and over. And I got home and I pulled out that flyer, and on the flyer it said gang intervention. So what caught my attention was gang intervention. It was something that I could relate to. It was something that I can that caught my attention. Now I know that a lot of people don't like the word gang, but the core of it is that, as Everly Anayas once said, gangs are not the problem. What's the core of it? So when I opened that brochure and it said services that are provided, anger management, parenting, counseling, hiking, physical fitness, I said, man, I need all this. This is something that I need. And the person that had me that flyer was Enrique Hurtado. I made that phone call. And when I made that phone call and I got involved with gang intervention, my life never went backwards. It went forward. And to me, if it wouldn't have been for somebody to be doing the footwork out there and handing out flyers, heaven knows where I would have been right now. But that's how my destination started.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Okay.
I've known you for a little bit, but it's good to sit down and hear more of the background and how you got involved. Naming people like Everly Nares, right? Rest in peace, good brother.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the role intervention plays in LA in keeping peace on the streets? The title of this segment is Peace on Our Streets. Talk a little bit about intervention.
Well, intervention, since I've been doing intervention, we have earned many hats. Intervention is let me put it like this. The world is on the fast lane. And if you're not like this with the world, then you're left behind. and what's, being left behind are the broken communities, and that's where intervention steps in. Intervention is wherever the broken communities are at, you're gonna find intervention. You're gonna find intervention where the violence is high. You're gonna find intervention where there's homelessness, where there's poverty, where there's immigrants, where there's addiction. You're gonna find intervention there. And see, at the end of the day, what intervention is about is that we understand, we're there to provide. And as Brazilian has said, we're here to serve the community. So with all that being said, our main goal is humanity. Do not forget about humanity. Do not forget about the values and the morals to create peace. A lot of people take it real hard when you got to just say, hey, how you doing? Have a good day. Hey, good morning. But those values there, will start a peace within each other. So that's what intervention does. We hit the streets day, night, whatever it is, to create that peace and to make sure that the community's needs are being met. That's where the peace all starts. So our day is fortunate when we wake up and it's our will to come out here and to just make it a peaceful day.
That's beautifully said. Can you share like maybe just like an example, like for folks that are watching that maybe aren't familiar with intervention, right? And one of the things that we're working on as a coalition is making sure that people understand what intervention is and what intervention does. Maybe like a story of how you worked with somebody to help get them on a different track.
Yeah, definitely. So, one day I got a phone call and I was gang intervention. Back in the days it was called gang intervention, and I had went into a school. And the probation officer from the school had called me because there was a youngster there that was just having a hard time. So me and my partner went and we met up with the youngster, and he had his mother there, and we sat down and we were talking to the youngster, but he wouldn't give us eye contact. He wouldn't look at us. He just wasn't having it. So we turned around, we hand the parent and the youngster our card. Here's our business card, and give us a call. And he kind of pushed the business card away and said, I'm not going to call you guys because I don't need your card. And okay, but the mother got the card and took the card. So I could say like a month later, the mother had called us up that her son had got busted. And if a program didn't step in, he was gonna, stay where he was at. So me and my partner went to court, and the youngster happened to get out. Now this kid, every time I would speak with him, he had it in his mentality that he was only going to live to the age of 20. He
Right.
was in his mind like that. He grew up with nothing around him but a hardcore life. So when he got into our program, he was mandated to get into the program. And every day he would remind me, I'm only here because I have to be here. I'm only here because I have to be here. But I started to notice that he had like leadership skills because he was very bold. He was always there. He was kind of territorial, but you can switch those. So I started to use him as my leader. Hey, when they come in, make sure they sign in. When give me a head count. Okay, let's help me with the calendar. And he started to kind of mold in a way. And this is where I think his wake up happened. He always conversated and always made sure that he stated, Miss, I'm not gonna make it. I know when I hit in my 20s, I'm not gonna make it, Miss. And one day we were gonna go to Big Bear, and we had to meet at a certain place like about 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was still dark. And we got there, we all get in the bus, and we're all sitting in the bus and we're taking off. And I'm kind of sitting behind and he's over here in the front. And he turns around and he says, hey, Miss, can I tell you something? And I say, yeah, mijo, what's up? And he goes, you know what, Miss? He goes, I have never noticed how beautiful the sun looks like it's when it's rising. I said, right, mijo, it's beautiful, right? He said, yeah, Miss, life can be beautiful. I got to see that youngster graduate.
Wow.
I see him graduate. So that right there is priceless to me. You know, stories like that that I look back and I think of, it gives me the chills, man, because it's for reals. And that was one of my stories right there.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, that's a powerful story, and just testimony to the work, just being consistent, being patient, not judging, right, and finding the strengths, right, finding his strengths and working on it. Yeah, beautifully done.
Thank you.
Can you talk maybe a little bit about the work of just the LA Violence Intervention Coalition? Advocacy. We're all working on advocacy. We got a large group of peacemakers in LA that are pushing for funds to support this work. One is why is the coalition work important, but also why is funding the work to scale really important right now at this point in history?
Look, Fernando, I don't know if you ever, it's like when a kid comes home and they have a report card and they have, 4 A's, 2 B's, and 1 F. The parent just focuses on the F, but the parent is a working parent, so the parent's never there to help you with that F, and that's how it is with intervention. We're always getting, we gotta, these people just hang out in the corner. You got the gang members over here. You got people that are, doing violence, and they're doing this. Okay, but what are we offering them? What are the resources that we can give them? You guys want these population to stop the violence and to stop what's going on, but we need the resources. We need the hardcore resources. And what I mean by that is the population that we work with. Yeah, we have some resources that we can send them to get jobs, but once they get in, they come out with, well, you can't be a felon, you can't have an open case, you can't be dirty, and if you're tatted all over your face, it's going to be hard for you. So 99.9, it knocks our clients down. So we need resources that are going to take our clients as they are. What I mean by that, they're going to take them with open cases, they're going to take them as a felon, they're going to take them if they're dirty. They're going to take them as they are. And once they get into them programs, then you set the rules down. Okay, 4 months from now, you can't be dirty. 6 months from now, we're gonna go to court and get that case closed. And 1 year from now, we're gonna expunge your work, your cases. Now we're working with them. But see, we can't do it alone like that. We need what I call the big people. We need the funders. We need them to fund us. We need to get those resources, because if you want to see the outcome in a positive way, we'll do the footwork. We're here. We're in the area. We're in the alleys. We're in those places where nobody wants to go. You think them youngsters out there don't want a good, hardworking job and honest money? They do. But half the time when they go in, they get turned away. And then they go back to all what they know to support. So we need those resources. We need those fundings. So we can continue doing the work to make things good.
Absolutely. I agree with you. What role would you say the coalition plays in making sure we get resources to fund this work?
The coalition, wow. Look, ever since I've been involved with the coalition, it has really opened my mind, my eyes. It has, given us the opportunity to speak. It has given us the opportunity to show. The coalition has came along and put us out there. See, intervention has always kind of been, and I'm going to say it, we've been kind of hidden. The coalition has brought us out. The coalition has made us like, this is who they are. Not just showing our faces, but they're going in deep with us. Okay, talk to us, let us know, putting us out there, giving us that opportunity, telling us, okay, what's going on in the community? What is the needs that's going on? What do you guys need? The coalition has been there to expose us in what we really, really are and in what we really, really need. So I'm grateful for that. I'm real grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big part of that, Irma, of bringing that unity in the coalition and a voice for the field. And I think there's a lot of, it's a lot of beauty in that, bringing that unity, bringing people from, different areas of the city together and some of the county areas. to say, hey, look, this is who we are, and this is what we want, and this is where we're going. I think that's an important piece. So what would you say was the most challenging aspect of gang intervention work? You know, how long have you been doing it, and what would you say is the most challenging aspect of the work?
You know, I've been doing this work since the early 2000s, you know, and I think for me, the most challenging part of this job is when we get them youth, and we get them peoples that that we gotta work deep with that, and we get them to a point where they're open and they're ready, and then we give them that resource, and then the resource is not fit for them. That's the challenging part. That's the hard part that I have, that I can't turn around and say, man, no, wait, I got this for you. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they're all gonna look at those factors that I just talked about. And that's the hard part, to turn anybody away when they're ready and they're willing and they want it. And you gotta kind of say, okay, let's hold on for a minute. That has been the most challenging part for me since I've been involved with gang intervention.
Right. Yeah, access to those resources. What would you say the most rewarding piece of the work is? I know you shared the story earlier with the young man graduating and having a different perspective. But overall, you know, this work, this work is difficult, and people will say it, but also too, there's some type of reward from it. What is that for you?
The reward for me is when I see a mother come in, and they, you know, and they turn around and they tell us, you know, thank you, thank you, my son or my daughter, you know, they're doing good at home, or my son and my daughter, they're not hanging out in the places that they used to hang out at, you know, or just you know, a family comes in and they come in because they know that we're gonna be able to help them with what they need. You know, these to me are all rewards, because it's the feeling that I get. It's the feeling to see a family that they're gonna be okay, that we're able to help them. You know, to see a youth, you know, to see a youth getting ready to graduate, to see a youth changing their mind frame of how they came in and now how they're thinking, and they got now set goals. You know, these are the things for me when I see that, and it's in a conversation, that makes me say, man, this is why I'm here, is to see families happy, to see youth getting it together, to see the violence decreasing, to see, instead of that youngster make that left, make that right. You know, those are, to me, that are the rewards of this job.
Thank you for that. Okay, my question is, where do you see gang intervention maybe in the next 5 years? Where do you see it going?
You
What's
know,
your vision for the field?
let me tell you, intervention, Fernando, needs to be in every city. Intervention is needed in places where people say, oh no, not that area, because there's not gangs, or there's not things like that going on. Oh yeah, intervention needs to be there. Intervention needs to be nationwide, all over. You know, we're kind of like in pockets right now. You know, we're in pockets and we're in certain areas. No, intervention has to, I see intervention expanding. I see them growing. I see them, you know, very well recognized, not only by, you know, by, what do you call it? Gosh, by Twitter and by Instagram or by Facebook. I see them recognized. They got to get recognized in a commercial, you know, just like they recognize others, you know, they got to recognize intervention and say the work that's being done. You know, a lot of people don't really know about intervention. You know, when you introduce yourself, some people are like, oh, wow, you do that? Oh, you never heard about that?
Right.
We've been around for ages, you know, but we're
Yeah.
not exposed. So
Yep.
I see intervention, seriously, Fernando, man, I see it nationwide. I see us expanding and growing and you know, getting these things together and just making things happen.
Okay, so if you could repeat this, just finish the sentence. We should fund peacemakers because.
We should fund peacemakers because, let me tell you why. Because peacemakers have made intervention expand, grow. We need resources. Peacemakers will be the ones to get this off the ground as they have, push it out there so we can decrease the violence, fund the peacemakers.
That's right. Yeah, so the role of so intervention is important to public safety, as we know, and public safety is typically, a domain of law enforcement, right? Law enforcement's in charge of public safety in any city. And in LA, we've pushed for, intervention is a very important piece to community-based public safety. Can you talk about how intervention contributes to the health and public health and safety of communities a lot of times that are underserved?
Well, I'll give you just here in South Central, intervention, every other week, we either go out there and we're passing out food to the community and we're passing out PPE to the community.
Right.
And what it is that we get to know the community on a positive aspect. We get to know the community. We get to talk to the parents. We get to talk to the senoras or to the ma'ams. We get to intertwine on a positive note. So when they do see intervention, they know that, oh, okay, they're coming in here to serve the community. They're coming in here to be here for the community, to find out what's going on in the community. So that's the difference when it comes to intervention and how we work, how we are with the public safety. Hey, the PPE, there's nobody that's gonna go where those traders are at deep over there in the end. Ain't nobody gonna wanna go over there and risk getting COVID. We'll go over there. Why? Because it's humanity and because they deserve the same PPE that you and I wear. They deserve it too. So that's how intervention works. We're willing. We're willing because we know, Fernando, most of us know how it is to be on the other side of that track. We've been there, and we're not gonna forget about them because somebody didn't forget about us. And for me, it was Enrique Hurtado, So we continue and we push and we pull, and we have people like the coalition that keeps pushing and pushing us and making us and molding us to be exposed like this. So we're grateful for the coalition in a very highly matter, Fernando.
Thank you, Irma. Thank you for taking the time for this interview. Everything you say, it's always powerful. It's always on point. So I really appreciate it. And so thank you for taking the time. And so thank you for speaking for us today. Thank you for being a partner in peace. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.